There is something that I wanted to really address in relation to my book. It might be your pancreas. I've done a lot of research. I've read a lot of books, really big into mental health. And you'll notice in the beginning of my book that I do mention to reach out to anybody. If you are in a desperate place and you don't know how to get out, do not be afraid to reach out. Okay, so one of the books that I went to a talk about Rachel's tears. And I want to share some things and insights about this book because she had something in there about her hand that was on the back of her dresser, I believe. Very, very spiritual girl, raised in a very, very spiritual family. And some things that sort of like, we all question things in life. Everybody does. But sometimes we get ourselves into a place and put ourselves into a position where you don't need to be. You really don't need to be there. Was she a martyr? I don't know if I want to call her a martyr. She was questioning herself. She was a young girl, and she did take a chance on all of this by placing herself in where she did. She placed herself outside, and I believe she knew everything that was going to happen. So with the two guys that did the shootings, I'm sorry I'm bringing this up because this does open up a wound for many people with this shooting. And when I went to see this at our local high school, I literally came out in tears, knowing that this young girl also may have been dabbling in the idea of suicide. Now, her parents say she was not depressed. She wasn't. I'm going to say that a lot of us growing up, your mind is sometimes not always well. And sometimes you end up with depression. You get stuck. You're trying to figure things out. And there's a lot out there to take advantage of and to connect to. But sometimes you can get yourself into such a place where, and I see a lot of people that become very spiritually connected. They almost go to an extreme with their religion. And I can say that from a place because I saw my mother do this. It's not always a bad thing. It's just being aware of what your control is of yourself and what you can do about it. Now, I believe this poor girl knew what was going to happen that day. And she almost put herself out there, I think, to maybe even stop these guys. I think she felt she was going to maybe stop them, or maybe she just felt, if I put myself out there, I'm going to go. Because they're going to shoot me. They'll see me. They hate me. And maybe she thought she could stop it. So what I say is to those who are extremely religious, just be very careful. Because you might get yourself into a place where you find that other people are not going to understand you. Not everybody's going to think the way you think. And these people that have ideas in their head to hurt other people, they're going to hurt other people. But what you have to do is be safe and wise about what's going on. Okay? We can't control everything. But for Rachel's sake, my hand, 5 points of awareness, the boundaries of knowing when and where and how. And, just be aware of not everybody's going to think your way. And some people might want to harm you because of your beliefs. So I wish you well, and I want you to consider to read the 5 points of awareness. I also consider the 5 W's. This is all about portion control, of course. Then I talk about boundaries, not binderies. And Paul Tripoli taught me about that. It's where I end and you begin. That's your boundary. When you offer something, and whether someone wants to receive it or leave it. So that's part of my book, and I hope you'll read it. It might be your pancreas. I'm all about that pancreas because, baby, when it hurts, it's bad. Have a great day and get your free episode on Kindle now.